The Last of Us Part 2 is Naughty Dog's sequel to one of the greatest story games of all time that is almost 7 years in the making. So here's my review of The Last of Us Part 2. The story starts off with Joel admitting to his brother Tommy about saving Ellie from the hospital and leaving a wake of dead fireflies in the process. Before the 4-year time jump, we see a brief interaction with him and Ellie where he gifts her his guitar and sings a song to her before promising to teach her to play. And then the story begins. The Last of Us Part 2 is centered around a revenge story for both Ellie and Beefcake Abby. But it is done in a messy way that can detach you from the story. After Joel saves Abby from certain death, she beats him the way Tiger Woods' ex-wife wanted to. For... At this point, you're as mad as Ellie, as Abby killed quite literally one of the best characters in gaming history. And you just want to pull up on Abby, like, hey, what's good? But before that can happen, Ellie must start her journey through Seattle, where she is seeking revenge for all those involved in Joe's death. Accompanied by love interest Dina, who is discussing moving in together faster than your high school crush. Wait, a little weed and a 6 out of 10 kiss? Is it really that easy? What am I doing wrong? However, on this journey, you are traveling behind Tommy as he left before you, and it feels as if all the work you do to get to the person of interest is taken away as Tommy has already done some of the work. And this begins some of the unfulfilledness you feel while playing this game. But with the expanded level areas and beautiful in-game scenery, you are just enjoying the journey with some brutal combat along the way. Oh, no. But I hope I never see one of these damn cards again. Still, this game has some of the best acting and character development you will ever see in a video game. The game makes you like, or at least love to hate, every character in the game.
You were right.
What was that?
Why do you make me repeat whenever I'm wrong?
'Cause it makes me feel better. I made her talk.
Yeah, except for Owen. Screw Owen. But hey, look, a PSP. With smarter AIs that work together to try to find and kill you. And with good boys and girls who can smell you out, you have to be strategic in every encounter you have. But there is no avoiding chaos along the way. Look. And more variety with some new infected that can challenge you in a new way. Oh shit. Or kill you in a new way. Oh shit, no! Damn. But the best thing about this game is you see Ellie's thirst for vengeance and the impact that it has on her. You see and feel both Ellie's pain and anger on this journey to avenge Joel's death. And even though you want to finish the quest and kill Abby, you can see Ellie's pain and understand why she wants to stop. However, at this point, a drastic storytelling decision is made, a decision that hurts the game in more ways than it helps. Ellie finally comes face to face with Abby after over 12 hours of gameplay, and just as you are experiencing the tension of facing Joel's killer, the game decides that it's going to take you back in time and see the story from Abby's perspective. As I mentioned before, this game has some of the best character development you'll see in any video game. However, at this point, it's almost like starting the game over again, as you have to look for new loot, new collectibles, and new items to fight with. Sure, you learn more about Abby's motives and her friends, and her story is fun and chaotic, However, starting over mid-game is a recipe for disaster. But as much as you hate Abby for killing Joel, you kinda love to play as her. It kinda reminds you of playing as Joel from the first one. She beats ass. Oh! She's snapping necks.
Nice try!
But I mean, what do you expect? Look at her, she's built like John Cena. Her storyline does help you understand her and the characters involved, and at some points you even grow to like some of them. Where did you come from? But then it's, wait, didn't you spit on Joel? I can't wait for you to die, you trash. I like Manny, but he needs to die. Oh, there it is. Yet with Abby's story, you see more parallels to the first game. Her caring relationship with Lev reminds you so much of Joel and Ellie that you again love to hate her. Naughty Dog does accomplish its goal with having the player empathize with Abby, see her perspective, and increase character development. But at what cost? Because if you're anything like me, it's like Joel and mainly Ellie's story is secondary in this game. Because in the end, I waited 7 years for the continuation of this story, not for the developers to set up a trilogy. However, that love-hate relationship was never more emphasized than the Skybridge portion of the game, where whenever I fell, I actually got excited because, ha, I get to watch her die.
Come on! I'm dizzy!
Oh!
Abby! Hold on! Hold me up! Hold me up!
But of course, he doesn't. What helps you to stay interested in Abby's story is not only that you see the parallels to Ellie's story, but you actually see her humanity return, as she even kills her own people to save Lev, who was part of the Scar group, even though Abby's group, the Wolves, are at war with the Scars. We even get hot and heavy fish zoo fun with Toolbag Owen. Once Ellie and Abby cross paths again, you're stuck to play as Abby as you try to kill Ellie, which is actually much harder than it seems. Damn. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of taken out of this game right now. Wait, why are we Abby?
Stay here. Watch the exits. Don't let her leave.
I don't want to be Abby. This is some humbug. And I'm sure many people felt the same way because you're playing as the character who killed one of your favorite characters while you're trying to kill another one of your favorite characters. While you do eventually best Ellie, even though it should have been the other way around, the game has an opportunity to present a morally gray ending, such as the first, by losing the battle, but instead, Lev stops Abby from killing Dina and sparks off what I think is the worst thing about this game, and that is the fact that it doesn't know when to end. And then we flash forward a year later with Ellie and Dina with their baby JJ at their farmhouse. You are then visited by an extremely wounded but surprisingly alive Tommy, claiming he knows the whereabouts of Abby. However, initially, Dina and Ellie claim that they have abandoned this quest for vengeance, but much like the player, you can see the sense of unfulfillment and anguish in Ellie's face.
Can you take him, please?
Again, a missed opportunity for a morally gray ending that the first perfected so well.
I can't.
As I said before, the game doesn't know when to end, and just
So
as
what?
it's
I'm just
starting to
supposed
pick up steam
to sit
again,
here and wait for you?
the perspective
For God knows
switches
how long,
back
just
to
thinking
Abby.
you're fucking dead.
Playing as Abby again.
24.
Abby is captured by the Rattlers, and special guest Guy Fieri makes an appearance. Who the hell is this Guy Fieri? You then return as Ellie and take Guy to Flavortown after finding out where Abby is. You then find Abby, who is visibly broken down by the Rattlers, and she refuses to fight until Ellie threatens Lev's life. A brutal yet satisfying fight breaks out between Abby and Ellie, which causes Ellie to lose some fingers. But as Manny said,
gonna keep most of my fingers. Just nothing.
Brother, you only need 3. Am I right?
After over 20 hours of gameplay, you are finally feeling the satisfaction of killing Abby, but in the end, Ellie decides to stop and let her go. This is where players will be divided the most. Did Ellie really make the best choice, ending the cycle of vengeance, or was it all for a waste, as she lost friends and ruined relationships along the way? Again, the moral grayness of the decision is what made The Last of Us Part 1 so amazing, but the way it is done here leaves players unfulfilled. Ellie returns home with Dina and JJ gone and her stuff packed away in one room. She attempts to play the guitar Joel gave her. However, losing fingers in her battle with Abby leaves her unable to play, seemingly losing one of the last connections that she had to Joel. In the end, The Last of Us Part 2 was a really good game with excellent combat, acting, and character development, along with amazing visuals. But the story is told in a muddy and drawn out way that really hurts the game as a whole. Did it live up to the first? Maybe not. A masterpiece or game of the year? Definitely not. But The Last of Us Part 2 was a fun experience, and overall, I really did appreciate the game for what it was. I just hope that the story grows on me more over time. Overall, I give The Last of Us Part 2 a 8.5 out of 10.